Your former coach, Coach K, called the investigation going on just a blip, which I was really surprised that Coach K would call it just a blip. Your reaction to that?
I would differ with him on that. I think it's far more than a blip. This has been going on for a long, long time. I think there's a lot of space between a blip and everybody is doing it. I don't think anybody would argue that every single coach is doing it. But the idea that you have the 30th best player in the country or 30th ranked player in the country getting $100,000 to go to Louisville, and nobody else is getting that, and that's just a blip, I think I can't imagine that being true. I think anybody who's been around it would acknowledge that there's been cheating going on forever in basketball and football. I mean, people seem to forget that an agent paid Reggie Bush. And, Cam Newton, there was all kinds of cheating going on in football. I mean, one of the ways that it's being done now is with debit cards with offshore accounts, so they can't be traced. This stuff is really sophisticated. And the government is trying to say that the schools are victims when the schools' coaches in a lot of these instances not only know about it, in certain instances they're in on it. So it's hard to imagine how they could be painted as victims. And it'll be really interesting to see what this jury does with that theory.
Wait, so these kids will get an ATM card, and then they can take out money, and that money is put in offshore, so there's no trail?
Yeah, the offshore accounts. That's what I'm told. I mean, I don't know. I'm not involved in that stuff, but that's what I've been told over the years. Is that's the latest thing that's going on the football side. And look, I mean, Dan, you and I have talked about this before. When we were in school, boosters were the issue.
Yeah.
Money being funneled to players by boosters. Yeah. So it's become much more sophisticated now. The NCAA can say, well, we really cleaned up the booster thing. But then they got on the basketball side, the shoe companies and grassroots basketball and all these things, because the high school players and the college players are, to the shoe companies, more valuable than the pros. They move more product than the pros do. And so, and in football, it strains the mind to think that players are being paid in basketball. And the sport that dwarfs it financially, and basketball makes billions, but the sport that dwarfs it, no, everything's clean. The last guy that was caught cheating was Cam Newton and Reggie Bush, and everything else is clean. That's laughable. It's just not true.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.